congratulations on the win. I have to ask your thoughts on the Nathan Ordaz red card and the officiating as a whole for the 90 minutes.
I think I'll start. I'll get your questions, but I'd like to start. I think, congrats on the win. Feels weird in a penalty shootout, but appreciate it. I would say congrats to the group, and I did, for the good performance, and I think that's more important. I really, really liked the way the team approached the game. It started the game up until the red card, very dominant, dangerous, and no threats in the other direction. And with the exception of 10 minutes after the red card, and then their goal, I thought we were the better team and the aggressive team, even though we had 10 men after that. And I was very pleased with the mentality and the ideas the group had, and the mentality of still trying to win the game, even though you have 10 men, because we believed we could. And that I'm very pleased with, and I think the players put in a really good shift. And they were rewarded for that effort, so I'm happy with that. I have not seen the replay. I assume it is okay. I think one of our analysts told me it looks not great, and it's a silly mistake from Nate. That cannot happen at this level, and hopefully it's a learning experience, and it's the last time he'll ever see that card again. But it's these errors that are hurting us as a group and hurting our results. So maybe that cost us 1 extra point tonight. I don't know, but maybe. Regardless of what it did or didn't do, it should never happen to us, and it just makes the work for the others even more difficult and the loading even greater when you're playing with a man down. So it's just it's a part of the game that just needs to be weeded out, and we shouldn't see that at LAFC or at any team for that matter. And Nate will learn from it. The officiating, other than that, I've had worse, I've had better.
Just quickly on that, Ordaz as well. He had a similar incident with Inter Miami. Javier Mascherano was very upset he wasn't sent off in that game. Did you have a conversation with him after that game? Do you have a conversation with them now? How do you approach it with a young player like that?
Yeah, look, we don't just talk about it when it happens to one person. So you always use examples, things that happen to your team when they happen, in the hopes that everybody listens and learns from somebody else's mistakes. I had an older brother, and I learned a lot from him. He got in trouble. The clear sign to me, okay, don't do what he did. It's pretty simple. And in that same fashion, we try to treat the players. The other week against the Galaxy, we had Eddie Segura, who lost his temper, which is unacceptable. And apparently Nate didn't learn from that, and that's not okay. And we'll discuss that, but I don't think they're comparable. And after watching the Miami clip, I don't think that was a red card. I think this one, I have to see this one to comment on this one, but from what I've been told, those scenes are not comparable, and I wouldn't draw a conclusion. They're different referees, different moments, different players in the field. But Nate has attracted attention in a negative way twice, and that's not okay. And he needs to sideline that ASAP.
And then on Thomas Hasal, it's easy to say from the outside, like Ochoa lost the shootout, Hasal wins the shootout, maybe he should be the second string. What did you see from Hasal tonight, and then how do you kind of approach that goalkeeper battle for the second string spot?
With that logic, we would have beaten PSG 1-0 because we only lost to Chelsea 2-0. You can't think that way, and it's a little ridiculous. Every game is a different situation. We have 3 wonderful goalkeepers, 2 young keepers who are trying to prove themselves, and they both have different qualities and different areas of improvement. Tonight, Thomas played well. The other night, David played well. And I'm really glad that we have this tournament, and it's an opportunity for a lot of players to show and to play what they can do.
Thanks. Steve, on Nate, the 2 incidents on the field notwithstanding, is this out of character for him based on what you've seen of him?
Completely. Yeah, totally out of character. I'm not even sure he recalls what he did, but it needs to stop. Not that it's a habit, but it's very out of character, and it's the type of player you don't really say, "Hey, cool down, calm down," because he always is calm. And so it's a difficult one. We'll talk to him, see what he was thinking in that moment. It's certainly a reaction, but you learn in this game, reactions can be punished. There are cameras everywhere. Rightly so. Should they be punished? There's no room for that in our game. But he'll learn from this, and Nate's a smart guy, and I'm sure that won't happen to him again.
And just on the performance, even down a man, I mean, you really pushed Pachuca the entire time, and people see that and wonder why LAFC ever has to sit back. Why do you think in the moments where you do sit back, sometimes you give away results, but if you push against an opponent and try to make things happen, things seem to happen. Things seem to go your way more often than not.
A lot of times it's a physical component. There's a psychological component involved in this game. The scoreline dictates a lot. When you are winning, you don't necessarily need another goal. It's just a very normal psychological piece to the game that every team, no matter what level you watch, goes through. So there are many reasons for it. I don't think it's possible to put your foot on the gas the entire season for every minute of every game. Not possible. And the moments you need to rest sometimes are when you have the lead. Sometimes you get a rest with the ball. Sometimes but tonight, the way the game played, we were not losing. There was still something to play for, and the players could sense that the opponent was vulnerable. And sometimes when you are wounded or you're missing a player, you do a little more. And I think that effort you saw tonight, and thankfully the players were rewarded for it.
The Leagues Cup is an incredibly special tournament. It's a new tournament. It gives us an opportunity to face opposition that we don't know who's going to play against. Of course, we know the Mexican League, they have a different style of play, but the quality is very high. So I think having these games in the middle of the season obviously adds to the workload, but it gives a new sense and a new type of competition to the two leagues that we get to take advantage of. And we've had two great versions. Of course, we were in the final last year, so we wanted to push as much as we can as it's another tournament, and we're LAFC, and we look to try and win every game.
You get some experience in these shootouts in MLS Next Pro. How much does that kind of help you here in this type of situation?
I think it's huge. I'm a big believer in always trying to play games. I love playing games. Training is one thing, but having an opportunity when, of course, you're not getting as many minutes here with the first team, to go and play in the next pro or whatever it is, to get more reps, get those game scenarios, and again, get more experience in a shootout that's very similar to this at the end of the day. So, yeah, I love getting minutes whenever I can, and that experience gives me more confidence to step into these kinds of roles, knowing that I've just been through that scenario.
Am I correct to say that's your first team having a shootout line in your career?
Yeah, I lost one early on, so I think first.
Yes.
So first one, but it's a good feeling. Thank you.
Thomas, how much of it is homework? How much of it is feel? How much of it is your instincts? What does it take to make two saves, look really good at both, really confident between the pipes during the shootout? Talk to me about the feeling that you have when you're there.
Yeah, I think you nailed it on the head. Penalty shootouts it's a lot of preparation that I do that goes into it. At the same time, it's a gut feeling when you're in the moment, to be present, to take advantage of what's happening. And also, with full transparency, I love it. It's an opportunity for a goalkeeper to be a hero. It's an opportunity to especially help the team. So sometimes there's games where we can't make the difference, and in a penalty shootout, you can. So, of course, I put a lot of time and effort into it. And so do our video guys, honestly. Like, they're clipping videos that are perfect for me, that I get to go in and just do my job, look at them, and take my personal experience from playing the game from the information that they give me. And of course, once you're in the moment, it's a feeling that you're going to take advantage of this. So,
yeah. You had a great save with Montiel as well in the run play that died to your right top corner. What did you see of that?
Yeah, I remember the ball was left side coming across. He took a good touch. He had an open lane to shoot, so I was just trying to stay in my position, be ready for the shot wherever it came, and make the same. Watching it the whole way through, able to kind of have a clear vision of it, thankfully.
Last one. You mentioned trying to get minutes as much as possible. How do you approach it knowing that there's people race there and in number one spot you're fighting for
Yeah, I come into training every day looking to get better, looking to work as hard as I can, looking to enjoy training as well. And at the same time, one of the big reasons I came here was because Hugo was here. I think, yeah, like I said, I want to play. I want to keep playing as much as I can. But at the end of the day, it's also a good opportunity to learn from one of the greats of goalkeeping from the last few decades. So I think you take the positives out of it, and yeah, when you get the chance to play, you try and enjoy it as much as you can.
Thank you.
Yeah.
You're good.
Thanks, guys.
Hi.
Hey, Denny, I asked Tillman before the game if he thought that your missed penalty last time would motivate you. He said, absolutely, score within 10 minutes.
Ouais, j'ai compris. Il faut vite passer à autre chose. Voilà, j'ai loupé un penalty. La plupart des joueurs restent sur ça, mais voilà, quand tu as des ambitions, il faut savoir passer au-dessus et vite se rendre compte du prochain match.
We have to reset very fast, pass to the next step, and I have a lot of ambitions, so I have to go to the next game right away.
You continue to extend your lead atop the League's Cup all-time goal-scoring charts. What does it mean to you? Lionel Messi is second, you're first.
J'ai pu voir ça. Après, voilà, comme je l'ai dit, grâce à mon équipe pour le dernier match, on va essayer de creuser l'écart avec Messi, même si voilà, voilà, j'espère rester en haut, tout simplement.
I hope to stay on top. I've seen that recently that I was on top of the chart. Now I'll try to have a bigger gap with Messi, but that's all. Just to stay on top.
Denny, you score and the team's dominating in the first 25 minutes and then the red card and they score right away. How did you guys regroup and how did you decide that we're going to put the pressure on Pachuca still even though we're man down?
On a déjà joué, on a déjà remporté des matchs à 10 contre 11. Voilà, en plus on est à domicile, c'est pas comme si on était à l'extérieur. Donc on a fait preuve d'état d'esprit. Au final, on a joué à 10 contre 10 et on a gagné au penalty, tout simplement.
It happened before to play 10 versus 11. We were at home, so it helps, and we had a good mindset, so that really helped to win this game.
You talk about mindset. What changes in your mindset and your responsibility when you go down a man versus when you're playing even?
Qu'est-ce qui a changé pour toi dans ton état d'esprit quand vous êtes retrouvé à 10 pour gagner ce match?
De tout simplement faire plus d'efforts. Voilà, on joue à 10, donc tu cours les uns pour les autres, comme on le fait à 11, mais 2 fois plus si tu veux gagner, tout simplement.
Much more effort, playing for the other one, with the other one, do everything to win.
There's reports that LAFC is closing in on signing a Human son. Does that excite you to play opposite a player like him?
Can you repeat, sorry?
LAFC is reportedly closing in on Human son, the Tottenham Hotspur player, as a signing the opposite winger who would play opposite you on the wing. Is that a player, knowing his history, his ability, that it excites you to play opposite him?
Que LAFC veut signer Sang, donc est-ce que ça ferait pour toi de jouer avec lui de côté?
Ça serait une très bonne recrue, voilà, on l'a pu voir, c'est une star en première ligue, ça serait une star ici, c'est sûr et certain. De jouer avec des joueurs comme ça, c'est toujours plus facile, donc voilà, j'espère que LAFC vont réussir ce deal-là.
He's a star in the Premier League and he will be a star in the MLS, and that will make things easy to play with him. That will be a great thing.
Danny, you mentioned it a couple of times. You talked about the missed penalty kick, but like, do you hang on to moments like that to use as motivation, or do you just quickly forget about them and just move on to the next game?
Comme la première question, est-ce que ça t'a motivé ou après avoir raté le penalty la dernière fois, est-ce que ça t'a arrêté là-dessus ou ça t'a motivé ou quoi?
Quand tu loupes un penalty, c'est toujours bon de rebondir très très vite. Là, on a eu la chance de jouer 4 jours après. Et voilà, il y a eu encore une série de penalties et voilà, j'ai encore été le premier parce que voilà, je veux oublier ça très vite et c'est ce que j'ai fait.
After failing a penalty, it's always good to bounce back right away. So it was a good thing to play four days later. And he scored after 10 minutes very quickly. And then being the first one to shoot the penalty really helped him move forward.
It seems like it's unlikely to advance. It's 3 points after 2 games. What does that mean for the Tigres match? How do you expect that situation to influence the team's attitude?
ça va être difficile de se qualifier. Voilà, on a pris 3 points aujourd'hui. Après, tout dépend des autres équipes. Mais comme je le dis, voilà, on reçoit encore à la maison. Il faut impérativement une victoire. Et ensuite, on verra.
It would be tough to get qualified, but we got the 3 points today, so we'll see how the games against Tigres will happen.
Have you spoken to your friend Gignac yet?
Oui, tout le temps. Il est pressé de venir jouer ici. Voilà, comme on le dit, ils nous ont battus une fois ici. Voilà, j'espère qu'on va le battre. On va le battre comme ça fera un partout.
Yes, I often talk to Gignac, and he's happy to come here, and we'll be really happy to play again. Il a gagné une fois ici. He won one time here. Now it's the revenge.
Entonces este partido hoy contra Pachuca.
Pues muy frustrante, la verdad, porque yo creo que tanto el partido de hoy como el de Mazatlán, el primero, son partidos para ganarlos 100%, pero al menos me gustaría tener un puntito más entre los dos partidos. No sé si haber ganado hoy, haber ganado Mazatlán o haber ganado incluso los penaltis con Mazatlán, tendríamos 4 puntos y nos hace soñar para la última jornada. Ahora yo creo que está la cosa muy difícil, pero bueno, vamos a esperar los resultados de mañana.
Bueno, algo contra los Tigres, ¿qué esperas de este partido?
Bueno, evidentemente nosotros lo que tenemos que hacer es agarrar un poquito la segunda parte que hemos hecho hoy, la intensidad que hemos hecho hoy, que hemos metido hoy en la segunda parte, las intenciones, y a partir de ahí pues construir y replicar lo que hemos hecho en la segunda parte contra un rival bueno, contra Tigres, que evidentemente tenemos ganas de ganarles igual, aunque nuestra clasificación esté complicada.
Última pregunta, ¿por qué es muy importante el Big Cup? O sea, la competición de MLS contra la
Pues mira, sinceramente, tiene minutos para todos, oportunidades para todos los jugadores, tiene dinero en juego, para nosotros evidentemente es importante, tiene un título que en este club nos queremos luchar todos, y tiene plazas para Champions con Qatar. Entonces, son 4 motivos para luchar por esta competición, y además, si podemos demostrar que también pues, podemos competir contra los equipos mexicanos, pues mira, 5 razones.
After the red card for Ordaz, talk about the mentality, because you guys really controlled the game even down a man. So what was that mentality like for you guys?
It was great. It was great mentality. The team, like, we get closer. We said to each other, hey, let's fight today in front of our fans. Let's make the game difficult for them, and I think we did. I think we have to take the second half and build from there. I feel like this season sometimes we lost a lot of games being a little bit passive, waiting. This team is built for pressing, for being intense, for having heart, for having this being alive, you know. And when we are like this, when we show this character, this attitude, people went crazy. We have more energy. We can turn a little bit crazy the games. And this is our style of game. If we lose the games, I prefer to lose because we go for them and we press and then we get exposed, than losing because we are in a low block, passive. This is not working for us, so we have to take the second half and build from there.
One more question, guys.
Sure. So I actually asked Steve about that sort of aggressive pressing LAFC's sort of paying off versus sitting back. And he said, it's just not possible to play an entire season going forward. But how much more do you guys want to play forward? How much more capable do you think you are in terms of just like physical output of what you can deliver?
No, of course. I'm not saying that we have to do this 90 minutes. It's just impossible. And Steve, I think he does so well the difference between or we press or we sit in a low block. We never want to be in the middle without pressing and without protecting the depth. You don't want to be there. Sometimes you will have to be. You have to be in the low block, but even in the low block, he's saying always, you have to be active. You have to press the guy who has the ball. And sometimes we struggle through this. It's not their fault. something that I see people maybe saying, oh, Steve is not saying the guys to press. He's saying us to press. He wants to press high, he wants to press. And sometimes when we are in a low block, he's asking us, guys, be active. Press the guy that has the ball. And when we see some triggers, like ball in the side, we press them. And we establish our pressing. Sometimes it's difficult for us and we couldn't do it, but we have this in mind and we want to improve that.
Thank you guys.
Thank you.